Right, 2 June 2021, and today we opened with a young man called Cyclone. So Cyclone is a young brother of mine here in Johannesburg. He is in a place called Diepsloot. So he is trying with music, and I wish him a lot of luck with his music career. So today I've got a very, very interesting topic. This is a topic that we've been handling since 2019, and it's going to be more and more important as we go forward. And I want to start at the beginning. So I did a video called The 6 Rituals that were supposed to be performed by Mugabe in 1980. And these rituals were given to Mugabe in Zambia by the spirit medium of Mbuya Nehanda. So these 6 rituals or 6 commandments were given to somebody, a young man, and in the last video, I did not mention his name. So I think his name was Julian Maoza Murenga Mkoma Washe. That is the name of the young man who was narrating the story. And I want to go back later to describe what he said, what Mbuya Nehanda said, the spirit medium of Mbuya Nehanda said to the fighters who fought the war of liberation, who were based in Zambia. So this is very, very important because it's all linked. Mugabe was supposed to do a number of things at independence, but he did not do them. And today I'm going to show you the rituals that Mugabe performed in 1957 with his mother, Bona, and his uncle, Karigamombe. They went to a certain place, and this story has been narrated through a voice note that is circulating. So I want to take a summary. The voice note is about an hour, and I want to reduce this to 10 minutes. So let's quickly go into what the voice note is saying. So in 1957, Robert Mugabe, his mother, and his uncle Karigamombe, they left their home and went to consult the spirit medium of Birina Ganyire. So that is the Nzous, according to this voice note. Remember, there's another version which I gave you. This is a different version. So when Mugabe and his mother and his uncle Karigamombe left Harare, they were accompanied by someone called George Bozo Nyandoro, according to the voice note. And they went to the Nyandoros because the Nzous, these are the people that will anoint you to become a president of Zimbabwe. And at that time, there was a lot of disquiet or unhappiness about the way Zimbabwe was being ruled by the settlers. So people were looking for solutions, and Mugabe went there with his mother to find out if he had a role to play in the future of Zimbabwe. So when he went there, according to the voice note, they arrived and they consulted, and they were told to go back home. They should be given an answer at a later date. So they went back home. Then after they left, 3 other people went to the Nyandoros to consult with Biri. So let me do this properly. Biri Naganyire. They went to consult, and these 3 people were Joshua Nkomo, Muzorewa, and Stole. They also went to consult. On arrival at the Biri Naganyire spirit mediums, Nkomo was told that you are not, okay, he was dismissed. Basically, let me say that. He was dismissed. They told him that you are not the one who is going to lead this country, because eventually you're going to compromise with the white people or with the settlers. Similarly, Muzorewa was told the same. He was told that you actually are supposed to be from Mozambique, Mazambuko. That is where you're supposed to be, not in Zimbabwe. Stole was told the same, go back to Chipinge. I think I might have switched those two. So they were all dismissed. And then in September of that year, 1957, Mugabe, his mother Bona, and his uncle Karigamombe, they went back to Birinaganyire to consult. And on arrival, Bona Mugabe was carrying, so that is the grandmother, was carrying £3.10 in her cloth, the one she walks around with. So they went in to consult, and Mugabe was told that, indeed, you are the one who is going to lead Zimbabwe into freedom. So you need to perform a ritual. And after that ritual, we'll give you something. So Mugabe was told to go and look for a young black bull with no horns that had not yet fathered a calf, or that had not known a female. And he was told to go and look for 4 poles and put them, or create a crow with those 4. And then he was supposed to put the young bull in between those 4 poles. So Mugabe went, his mother Bona took out £3.10 and bought a bull, a black bull. And Mugabe went into the bush, he cut 4 poles and he stuck them into the center of the yard, while his mother Bona and his grandfather, or his uncle Karigamombe, was watching. Then the spirit medium of Birinaganyire said to Mugabe, go into the center of this crow and grab the genitals of the bull and say what you want. And Mugabe went and he did what he was supposed to do. He said what he wanted to do. And then the spirit medium said, what is going to happen here is that after a short while, the young bull is going to fall and die. And within a very short period of time, he's going to rot and he's going to, what can I say, explode or blow up, and maggots will come out that have got tails. And then these maggots, when that happens, it shows that your power or your prayer has been answered. Right. So after this happened, so it did happen. Immediately after Mugabe did the ritual, the young bull died. It rotted immediately. Flies were all over it. And immediately after that, the maggots started coming out of the young bull. And then Mugabe was given a staff by the spirit medium of Birinaganyire. And this staff had a name. And I'm going to find you the name of the staff. Right. This staff was called, I think it was Pembera Wabaya. Right. That's Pembera Wabaya. And forgive me because this is quite an elaborate story. So Pembera Wabaya is the staff of the nation that he was given. And then they told him that if you take this staff, eventually you're going to lead this country into freedom. But when you are done, when you have won, when the country is now liberated, you are supposed to come back and buy another bull, similar to the way you did today, and we are going to give you another staff. That staff was going to be called Paspangu. And they were also going to give Mugabe 12 commandments of how to run the country of Zimbabwe. So eventually, obviously, Mugabe went to Ghana, became a teacher, and they did a lot of other things. When he came back from Ghana, he came back and then he went into politics. And the spirit medium had told him that he was going to go through the east and he was going to meet Tangwena. And when Tangwena went there, when he passed by Tangwena, he went with the Tekere, as you all know from history. and Tangwena did some ritual with Mugabe where there was a mist that surrounded Mugabe when he passed into Mozambique. Right. So that is how Mugabe got Tsvimbo yenyika, the staff of the nation. However, there are two staffs. There's the staff of the nation, which Mugabe got, and then the staff of war that Tongogara got. And Tongogara got the staff of war from, I'm sure, the spirit medium of Mbuyanehanda. Because, as you know, that story that I did with the 6 rituals, Mbuyanehanda was carried to Mozambique on a stretcher because she was very, very old. She died in Zambia. And at that time, she met people like Tongogara there in Zambia, sorry. And her stuff and her clothes, we don't know where they are as we speak. So this is how Mugabe got the staff of Zimbabwe. So the staff of Zimbabwe came from the Nzous, the Nyandoros. These are the people who helped Zimbabweans to cross into Zimbabwe from Zambia. They struck the water with the staff of the nation, which enabled people to cross into Zimbabwe, according to this story. I've said a lot about this story in the past. I've narrated it to you. Zimbabwe is a mysterious spiritual country, and you cannot lead Zimbabwe without understanding that historical and spiritual history of Zimbabwe. So Mugabe went to Zambia, to Mozambique, sorry. And when he got to Mozambique, obviously he got appointed as the president of ZANU-PF. And you know the history, he became president of Zimbabwe. In 1980, Mugabe was supposed to then go back to the Nyandoros and say, we've accomplished our mission. He was then supposed to get another bull, perform more rituals. And then after performing more rituals, he was supposed to get 12 commandments and another staff of the nation, Pasipango. Or maybe the bull is the one that is called Pasipango, if I'm not mistaken. So Pembera Wabaya was the first bull, Pasipango was the second bull. My mistake there. So he was supposed to then get the 12 commandments and lead Zimbabwe into prosperity. But Mugabe did not do that. His mother, Bona, kept reminding him, we went to those people, the Nyandoros, why don't you go back and give them back their stuff? Because Mugabe was not given this stuff permanently. It was a temporary stuff that was given so that he can win the war and come back and then give the Nyandoros their stuff. So Mugabe obviously didn't do that. The mother kept pestering. And in 1986, Mugabe sent a delegation to the Nyandoros. So let me see who was in the delegation here. There was Inos Chikore, Meya Orimbo, and Solomon Njuru. He sent them to speak to the spirit medium of Birina Ganyire. And the spirit medium, they said, no, you cannot represent Mugabe in this matter. It is a matter between us and Mugabe. So you must tell Mugabe to come by himself. Mugabe did not do it. He did not come back. He kept telling his mother that he was going to do it, but he eventually didn't do it. Then, out of frustration and anger, the spirit mediums, they sat and gathered. And according to this narration, Mugabe thought he still had the staff of the nation, but the actual staff left. It was taken spiritually back to the Mavradona Mountains. That is what this guy is narrating here, said. And Mugabe was given a message. A message was sent to him in writing to say that you are going to be betrayed by the people around you, and you are going to be bullied by young children or young people. That is what Mugabe was told. Right, let me sum this up. I think our 10 minutes is way past. I'm now becoming like the guy who made the original video. So then those, the Nyandoros, they are the people that appoint the leader of Zimbabwe. The Moyos, they are the young brothers of the Nzous. Together, they deliberate on power in Zimbabwe. So this is what the guy said. So for the situation in Zimbabwe to improve, these two need to deliberate, the Moyos and the Nzous. And if you want to know who's got the spirit, the staff of Zimbabwe, you have to ask Irina Ganyire. So that those are the spirit mediums. They're still there as we speak. Nyamasoka, Nyamafeka, Nyabapa, Nyanewe, Chitehwe. Okay, Nyanewe, Chitehwe. Nebeza, Nyamatope. Okay, I think that is Nebeza Nyamatope, the son of Mtota, and Chivere, Nyasora. I've put all this on Gambago.com. You don't have to worry. If you go to Gambago.com now, I did my best to put all this on the website. So this is the situation. There are two staffs. All these two staffs have spiritually left. If Mugabe was buried with that staff, it's just a stick. It's got no spiritual power. It's got no spiritual significance. And the actual staff of Zimbabwe, if you want it to be handed to you, you have to go to those spirit mediums, the Irina Ganyire and the rest that I've mentioned. Then there are also rules, mitemo, surrounding the staffs of Zimbabwe. Firstly, the staffs cannot be kept in a modern house. It can only be kept in a thatched house. And you cannot fornicate when you've got the staff of Zimbabwe. You have to be a straight up person who doesn't indulge in fornication and adultery. And the staff does not like bloodshed. Then obviously the staff will not be found until the 6 rituals of Zimbabwe have been performed, the 6 rituals of Mbeneanda, which were narrated when she was in Zambia. If you want to know more about that, just go to gambako.com and say the 6 rituals of Zimbabwe. That is when you can find the staff of Zimbabwe. I don't think the staff of war is still required, but obviously that was also given to Tongogara and it's gone. And then the Nzous and the Moyos have to convene and do whatever they have to do for the situation to improve. So I've done my best to describe the situation. What is the real story? I've given you 2 stories. Mugabe was looking for another staff that he thought Nkomo and Stole got. Now we understand why Mugabe thought that. Because when he went, they also went. So he probably thought he got a staff and they were misleading him and they got more staffs. I don't know if they did get a staff or if they did not. And this is a very, very deliberate, this is a very detailed account. I doubt that someone would come up with all the details that are in this story out of nowhere. So let's wrap it up. Let's look at the comments very, very quickly. Let's see if there's anything significant, and then I'll bring this to an end. Netsai Juliet Mukosha, that stuff brought us bad luck. The Pan-African left Zimbabwe in shambles. Well, I believe Mugabe did a lot of things wrong, including overstaying and also the arrogance. If you can listen to that voice note, he was very arrogant because he thought if he gave away the stuff, he would lose power. So he lost his way when he came back from Mozambique. He also said to his mother that he was a Christian, and they said she died very bitter because she wanted to make sure that she did what the spirit mediums had said, the Birina Ganyire spirit medium. My name is Mneta. I'm not even going to read your comment. Nkanyi Sospanda, you call this prayer Stanley. Okay, straight from satanic verses. Max Manika, I don't agree with you. Our culture as Zimbabweans is very, very rich. And Zimbabweans have got a powerful history. There is nothing you can do in Zimbabwe that is not spiritual. Everything is very, very spiritual. We are a spiritual people, and our country has got a deep spiritual root. If I can take you to some of the places in Zimbabwe that are sacred, and the things that happen in those places, you will not understand it. You cannot pretend that there's no spiritual history in Zimbabwe. Let's go to Peter Matapu. How's it, Mkoma? People do actually fall for this. You cannot be president of Zimbabwe if you don't get this stuff. If you don't understand what I'm talking about here, the spirit mediums, how our country started, how people walked from Ethiopia to Zimbabwe. If you don't understand that a person cannot walk naturally from Ethiopia to Zimbabwe, and how they build the Great Zimbabwe, if you walk at the Great Zimbabwe and you don't understand that there's something spiritual in Zimbabwe, and why Zimbabwe is the only country with such a construction, then you don't get it, and you will never be a president or a leader in Zimbabwe. Right, any chance you can bring them onto your show for an interview, I will try. This voice note, I did not talk to the guy. The previous spirit mediums, I've talked to them. The spirit mediums of Neanda, I've talked to them. But this one, it's just a voice note. I can share it with you guys. If you WhatsApp me on my number, I'm going to share this with you tomorrow. Please don't WhatsApp me today. I'm not going to look at your WhatsApps. Tomorrow, I'll send you this WhatsApp. Then you can listen for yourself. It's about an hour. Then let's go back to another comment. 3D Dube were truly led by witches, Lana. You don't get it. The thing that makes you a person is not witchcraft. If I ask you, who are you? And you can answer me where you came from, how you became what you are, who made you, and where are you going after now? If you can answer those questions, then you're led by witches. If you're not able to answer the question of where you came from, how you got here, where you're going, you're not led by witches. Take it from me. And then let's go to one-on-one. Show the stuff. I can't, my brother. But if they dig up Mugabe, they're probably going to find a staff. But this guy says it's not the staff of Zimbabwe. It's just a staff like any other. Then if we were a spiritual country, what happened in Jelele? You know the story of Jelele. The stone there speaks, but it only speaks to the chosen ones. If you're not chosen, it doesn't speak to you. It's a whole story. The story of Jelele is something else. Remember, Zimbabwe was not split into Matebeleland and Mashonaland. Spirit mediums used to travel from Mashonaland to go to Jelele to do rituals. So that was the rain-making ceremonies. These were being done at Njelele. And you guys, all you have to do is to research. Zimbabwe was the spiritual center of the world, not just of Africa, but of the whole world. So spiritually, Zimbabwe is placed in a place where you cannot be placed. And if you are not able to understand this thing that I'm telling you, you will not understand what is going wrong in Zimbabwe. It's a spiritual thing. It's not a natural thing. And once you sort out the spiritual things, if you sort out the issues with the 6 commandments or the 6 rituals of Myanmar, the 12 commandments that were supposed to be given to Mugabe by the Naganyire spirit mediums, you have started. That's why long back, young people were not allowed where old people were talking, because you don't get it. If you're a young person, you will not understand it. But answer the question that I asked you. Where did you come from? How did you get here? Where are you going after this when you die? If you can answer me those 3 questions, you're sorted. But if you can't, you better believe it. This is how it is. Right, I've said enough, and I want to take a break. So I'm going to leave you listening to my young brother, Cyclone, and we'll talk again very, very soon, probably tomorrow, if not over the weekend. Thank you very much, and good night.
Pisa vari kushungurudza ende vari kutyila nyangwe chipatara chikutaza kutirila boys shivo I can't be poor again medzisiro yacho futi nene muchapa andereve nemandiri kuza shungu dzavo vanoti dai ini nendafa vachingodigarira kunge so ndinoita zvawanakarara shungu dzavo dainde parara pamwe ndinomborota zvangu ndichirovabara vachida kunibvarura bvarura pedzisiro yacho futi nene muchafa andireve nhema ndiri kuza shungu dzavo vanoti dai inini ndafa vachingondigarira kunge sofa pedzisiro yacho futi nene muchafa andireve nhema ndiri kuza shungu dzavo vanoti dai inini ndafa vachingondigarira kunge sofa kare vakanditesta pamwe handinaki ndakasiba mwoyo ava vanataki ukavatsamwidza vanokuita kaki vanokuita kunge giti vokata musaki anzi mudumbu mangu mune zidhuma rakatosviba zitikitima changogara ndichirwadziwa nemudumbu asi mwari pane chigumbu andireve nhema ndiri kuza shongo dzavo vanoti dai inini ndafa vachingondigarira kunge sopedzisiro yacho futi nemi muchafa andireve nhema ndiri kuza shongo dzavo vanoti dai inini ndafa vachingondigarira kunge sofa everyday kuna profita tina matire ayaye 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 uyo uko kuno apo pano mamuona kere